Harvested several pounds of these ackee. Just make sure there are two key elements so that you can ingest this without it being toxic. Number one is that it's open like this. When it's clamped up shut, it is not ready. It is inedible, it is toxic. Another one is that when you reveal the arrow fruits, there's a red membrane that often gets lodged in between in the centers here. This part is inedible as well. It's also toxic. So to simply harvest this, you just twist off the seed, which is also inedible. You can make yourself another ackee tree or plant this guy. And then you're left with these two creamy fruits. I've always been intrigued by the doctrines of signature, so maybe it's really good for your brain. But I do know for certain that this is really popular here as saltfish and ackee, but you can simply, turn this into a stir fry. It's very reminiscent, the flavor of eggs or cheese. So you can simply also, I know people that spread it on toast, and it's got a really nice buttery quality to it. Great full mouth feel, very creamy. And yeah, it's pretty simple. Just make sure you abide by those two key rules and you can safely enjoy these, and they're pretty delicious.
So this filament right here can get torn off inside the fruit. And you got to make sure you get that out. You can see there's still a little tiny bit right there that I'm going to take out too. It should come out when I remove the seed.
There are lessons everywhere I go. So the fruit, Jay just said to me, and I thought it was very poignant, the fruit wants to do the work for you. So if you just pull it out slowly, the filaments come out with it. If you're kind of rushing the process, you have to go back and basically do it twice. So there are lessons there as well. Just go slow. And that's been like the major theme, I think the prevailing theme of this year for me on my healing journey. So yeah, you don't have to do the work twice. Just go slow. Enjoy the process. Allow the fruit to do the work that it wants to do.
The hardest thing in life is to see the darkness of the world and not let it extinguish your light.
It took about an hour for both of us to harvest, going slowly as per my lesson of the year, but we harvested almost 4 pounds. So many possibilities, so many delicious stir fries. Jay got some saltfish. So many options. Between not going grocery shopping for the past week and a half and my tummy feeling upset from going out last night on date night and having rich food, I can't seem to tolerate very rich food as I get older, which is a shame because I love trash food. It's something I grew up on, but this is the stuff, even though it may seem counterintuitive because it looks spicy, and it's a little spicy, it actually settles my stomach and it makes me feel good. It's my version of temple food. So back here, the yellow stuff I have is some pan-fried lionfish that Jay speared, some braised tofu, and then my mother was so kind to bring me, or send me in the mail, some dried oyster mushrooms. And Jay's not a fan of mushrooms, and it's his favorite. Some kimchi fried rice and a simple soybean soup. Again, because we have no vegetables, so I just have that. This one is my preferred coconut. As you can see, there's jelly, but there's also water inside. Jay is making us some pajeon, which is Korean pancakes. They're savory, crispy pancakes. And I am making some sweet honey soy glazed sticky potatoes. You're sleeping.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-oh, I've disturbed some of them.
And you know they're ready when they start to spread apart. I like to call them like a pineapple grenade. And when the pineapple parts start spreading apart, that's when they're ready to be picked.
So these are one of my favorite. I don't get a lot of them. The guava. Beautiful.
And look, there's some little baby guava coming in. This big boy. Gorgeous. I think this is the biggest one we found all season.
It is beautiful.
You do have to be sparing with it, but I like to take some of the soursop leaves and put them into my bush tea. They're really nice and medicinal, and you can see some of the little baby fruits coming in. This is a volunteer crop of okra.
Yeah, just a wild okra plant. Probably a bird planted it for us the natural way.
We have some reishi in between the mother-in-law tug and tan. We harvested some last week. Lemongrass. The stalks make really good curries, tom yum soup, and then of course my weekly bush tea. That's what I usually use it for. With the sea grapes, you want the darker purple. They're sweeter and more ripe rather than these colored ones. Oops. These are the ones you want. Like this. Aside from my carambola, guava, and sugar alcohol, I have my sea grapes here that I'll probably just run it through a colander to press it out into a simple juice. Moringa flowers for Jay's detox blend that he combines with burdock root, stinging nettle, dandelion, this moringa, so many other things. It's really cleansing and purifying and detoxifying. Some lemongrass people use for curries, but I typically put it into my weekly bush tea batch. And my daily green gets a large dose of dried moringa, some French, Spanish, thyme, or oregano. It goes by a million different names on the island, but it's very prevalent here and abundant. Some bay rum back there that I probably need to be using up. And yeah, this will last us for the week. I'm very excited about it. I've been thinking about this a lot lately, and it is just wild to me that as children, we are thrust into these structured environments and taught anything but how to emotionally regulate, banish shame, soothe our parasympathetic nervous systems, or how to even begin to take care of our suffering. I downloaded a lot over the past several days, and I find that the more I tune into being responsive and non-reactive, there's now vacancy for more embodiment and potential to flow through, because I am tidying up the different rooms of my psychology, if you will. And instead of shirking away from the discomfort, which is really a lazy and easier thing to do, I've learned to almost like cradle it like a baby, because that's what I've learned that suffering is. It's like a crying baby that is now in your arms that needs the most tender love and care, attention, and fierce compassion. As I grow in this journey, my depression and anxiety both look and feel so different that it almost catches me off guard. I feel it's because I now intrinsically feel safe, but the emotions still flow through, and every day I'm learning how to better digest them. The other day I was in a yoga flow and cried in child's pose. It's like your body can't deceive you and is constantly sending you messages, and that's what triggers are, messages for you to pay attention to. So one thing I highly recommend is to somatically release if you're new to your journey. This can look as simple as shaking the energy off and dancing or jumping up and down alone in your room. But even better yet, do it barefoot, in nature, in the sunshine. The idea is to push, then purge all that stagnant energy out of your system and to energetically cleanse your field. And sure, if that's too woo-woo for you, we do know that anger, stress, and sadness can manifest physically. And I've learned that we store so much of our trauma in different parts of our body. So for me personally, hip opening flows and yoni work has been the most medicinal. I've also long suffered from chronic migraines, which I've touched on before, and found that a combination of tapping, vocal toning, meditating, yoga, and breathing have all helped tremendously. And I now feel like I'm on the brink of unlocking that area of my life as well. All of this to say that it's how you take care of your suffering again that makes such a difference. Notice if you are reacting out of fear or old narratives that are soaked in scarcity. Ask yourself these questions. What emotions am I feeling, and where can I find it in my body? Think about a time when you've experienced this very emotion before, and of all of the myriad of emotions that you're currently experiencing, which one feels the most insurmountable? Is your feeling and thinking about the situation accurate and based on current reality, or is it just a story you tell yourself? And finally, how are you being triggered, and what do you think it really means at the root of it?